Love. There are many different kinds of love. The ones that we know of is a yearning to connect because it fills your soul, that connection. It fills you, it feeds you, it makes you feel full in spirit. And that's why love songs are, about that yearning for that which you're lacking and missing and wanting in the human love. There's a soul, there's a love that really is a unique one. The love of God that's hidden. It's unique because the uniqueness of this love is it wants to expire in and be a part of its source in God. It wants to lose its identity, like the flame that flickers and wants to be subsumed in the sublunar sphere above. As we see the candles with the flicker upwards and uniquely. So this is a unique thing of the Jewish soul. And that's expressed in time of giving up your life. That's when it'll more or less for sure be expressed. Meaning, other times that we, even in service of God, doesn't mean it's the divine soul talking to us. It could be the animal soul talking to us and, calculating that it's worthwhile to do this mitzvah. That mitzvah, it's too much effort. The return's not so great. So I'm not going to do that mitzvah. This thing, yeah. It's easy. The return's great. So might as well. That's the kind of love that, we have with people quite often, right? I'll invest in this person. It's easy investment. The return's great. I'll connect. I'll express that love, right? Again, that's a self-fulfilling love, filling self that, with the needs that you have from this person that makes you feel whole. That's human. It's very common. It's very real for us. But that's not what we're talking about when we speak about the Jewish soul and its capacity for love, divine love. This is something that transcends the human condition, which means it transcends logic. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. But that's what we call the nature of the soul. It's like the flame that flickers up. Yeah, it doesn't make sense that a flame should do that. Everything of this world, its nature is, I want to be. Right? Let it be. Let me be. Let everything be. Let everything be as is. Because it doesn't want to change. Right? This mug doesn't want to change. Not that it has a will, but in spirit, there is something to that. But if there's an external force that, crushes it, or first it was clay and then, molded and shaped to become this mug. So it was extraneous to it. It was a force outside of it. Everything, just be what it is. And that's what we want. We all want to be. I want to be as is, Why? Because that's the nature of everything of this world, except for this divine soul. The divine soul is not seeking to become better. Not saying, let me become a better person. Well, why do you want to become a better person? Well, it's better for me. I'll have a better life. Oh, okay. But which is, hey, it's a frank conversation I hope we're having over here, and I hope everybody can take this. I hope so. If you can't take it, right? Some people leave. Um, so, hey, it's wonderful. And, on one level, so be it that the whole world would want that. Like work on themselves to become better people. But the problem with that is we don't end up becoming better people. You know why? Because it's all about me. In the end, the animal soul is going to get the better of us. It's going to get the better of us. So it'll end up being the slippery slope. What is the alternative telling and teaching us over here? In chapter 19 here is that there's an element that is something greater than me. And not that it is in order that I can become a greater me, but the nature of this soul is it wants to be subsumed in its source. Why? Just because that's the way God made it. Not because it's logical. Logic would dictate that, I want my identity to be enhanced, not um, lost or subsumed in something that I lose, my identity. It's like, you take that candle and you go on a bright sunny day, not here in Montreal, but, maybe in Florida or California or some, other place. And you take that candle, bright sunny day, candles got no functionality because it's not bringing any light. Kind of lost its value, right? So that's not the complete metaphor over here because it's even more than that. Because after all, it still is a candle. It's still illuminating, but really has no value in a sense. Here we're saying, no, no, no. Here we're saying that it's completely subsumed, losing its complete identity, all functionality, because it's now part of its source, part of God. That's what it wants. Why? Just because that's its nature, not because it's going to become better, greater, or whatever. That's like a whole new thought process. Now, what does that mean? What does that actually mean? Well, so the alternative says, in its expression of that notion will be when it comes to a test of faith. That, okay, we're not tested with faith every day, Not, I mean, in the last 2,000 years, Jews have the sword or the, accept the cross or, or other faiths and so on. We've been tested with that. But we're not really tested with that today. And in any case, obviously it's got to be a lot more than that, that this divine soul, this Jewishness that defines us, will express itself. How? That's the journey we're going to continue with, actually, in the next 5 chapters, of how this idea can become real for us in day-to-day living, where, where you don't give up your life, you know, to die for your faith, but you live your life with it. How can we actually express this in a meaningful way? And is that possible? Or is this like, something that is kind of there, but, not fully there? So that's the journey we're going to continue. In the meantime, questions, comments, thoughts. Tzitschvat, time for Fabringen. So please share. Looking on Facebook, any questions? 2 question marks before you ask a question, so I know it's a question, otherwise I may miss it. John, in Western culture, with the pursuit of self-actualization so prevalent today be the antithesis of the self-abnegation necessary to possess the supernal light? Very good. You wrote that well. Yeah. Yes. So yeah, self-actualization means becoming a greater self. And that's not self-abnegation, right? Well said, John. Yes. So and that's why it's hard for many people um, to accept this or to, really? But, you know, I'm in love with myself. I want myself to be. Hey, got it. I got it. Totally got it. Um, that's the human condition. That's why it's not expected from everybody. But it's definitely the Jewish condition. And that's why, a chosen nation and, a holy nation, because that all ties in with this. Now, that doesn't mean that someone who isn't Jewish can't have value and gain from this. Absolutely. Absolutely. Davida, how does the love relate to our Ahavas Yisrael? Do we need to love our fellow Jew as we love Hashem? Of course it relates to it. We'll get there in chapters 30, 31, 32. We'll discuss that. But excellent question. We will get there. Does complete Emunah and Bitochen reflect our divine love? Absolutely does, for sure. Emunah meaning faith and trust in God. Absolutely does. Very good, thank you. Thank you, Clem. And Clem says it's important to learn go over these lessons over and over. And actually, yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. Lori, the Jewish soul wishes to reunite with its source. Will overcoming the animal soul accomplish this while in a body? Yes. And that's where we're going with this. Elder Ebb is speaking here about giving up your life, right? That's how this divine soul is expressing itself. That's not the point. That's not what he wants. That's not what where we're going with this. Not about giving up your life. It's about living your life. Well, how do you live your life with this notion? That's where we're going. How do you incorporate this and make it real for you? That's what we want. We can do that. Wow. Can we do a lot? Can we, fulfill something that is an eternal plan of God, which is remarkable. Instagram, do we have any questions? All right, Jennifer, great. Working from home, so she's able to listen to the class. Amazing. COVID has its benefits. All right, do we have any questions here? Norm, haven't heard from you. What's going on? Marcy, likewise. All right, Norm. Good morning. Please share with us.
We had a good talk yesterday after you left. I don't want to give you FOMO, but it's good when you're here, and it's good also right afterwards. It's a great effect.
That's amazing. I'm glad to hear that.
We're all talking about the wonderful effect that your wisdom and your knowledge and the Tanya had on us. And I mentioned that yesterday before the class, I put on Stillen, and it seemed to really deepen the effect of the class, and so I feel really good about that. So that's what I have to say.
All right, thank you
I
for.
did today. So.
And I'm sure today you chat, no doubt. That's beautiful. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Um, when we can bring the teachings into a practical mitzvah, then we know that the teachings are, internalized and not only real, but we have ownership. Ownership of the thought, the idea, the teachings, because it didn't just remain in the head. It came into speech, talking about it, like you said, Norm, which is great. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, that talk about it further to further understand and internalize it, and then from thought to speech. Then it comes to the arms to put on the tefillin, to give tzedakah. It comes to the feet to go run and do another mitzvah, and so on. So wow, beautiful. You made my day with that. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Rabbi, and everybody else here was a part of it. We were all sort of in it together.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful. That's it. We're in it together. Absolutely. All right. Anybody else to share with us today? Yitzhak, as we mentioned, the day that the Rebbe became Rebbe, previous Rebbe passed away. As the metaphor, the sun set, but the sun rose. The sun set in the physical life of the previous Rebbe, and the sun rose with our Rebbe, the seventh generation that we're in, that the light, the luminary of the Rebbe is shining, and shining today as it continues. All right, beautiful. So, well, listen, there's an ongoing engagement over here, right? Finish chapter 19. We continue, God willing, tomorrow. Remind the Rambam at 1 o'clock. And as we continue the journey together. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Zich and Kadesh in Montreal, Canada. It's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. Have a wonderful day. Happy Jontiv. And um, if you have the opportunity, write to the Rebbe. Tell him about the Tanya that you're learning. Tell him about your journey in life, whether you're Jewish or not Jewish. Write to the Rebbe, ohelchabad.org. David, if you can put it up on Facebook, Liba, maybe on Instagram, to put up um, and connect. Today's a day to connect to, the Alter Rebbe is our teacher of Tanya, the first Rebbe, and the Rebbe is our seventh generation. This is a time to make that connection to the luminary, meaning the source of light, is the Alter Rebbe of Tanya, the source of light and teachings in our generation of the Rebbe, and it's got intrinsic value of your personal connection. Even if you might not feel, you don't have to be Chabad, you don't have to be Jewish. you know, I mean, human helps. We're all human, and it's right. Introduce yourself. If you're Jewish, give your Jewish name and your mother's Jewish name, the son or daughter of. If you're not Jewish, then give your name, full name, the son, daughter of, the son or daughter of your father's name, right? Not last names, just first names, full names. And introduce yourself. Say who you are and tell about your journey, about, about your connection. Tell about the Tanya that you're involved in. Actually, give the Rebbe some nachas. That you're learning Tanya and you're doing other mitzvahs as a result of it, or whatever that you want to share. And then ask for blessings in your life. Not just spiritual blessings, material blessings. Ask for it. The Rebbe is the one who can ask God better than we can ask God. We got to ask God ourselves. We have to. But there's times that you need to go to someone who's got a better connection, closer, and can ask for us. So you're not praying to the Rebbe. You're asking to the Rebbe to intercede on your behalf. It's like, like you need to go before the king But this minister who you're close with, or you know, or whatever, or you just go to them and ask me, can you help me intercede on my behalf? And this minister, the Rebbe, is there to minister on our behalf for everyone. Going to the Ohel, the Rebbe's resting place in Queens, are thousands of people every week, many non-Jews going, because they recognize it's a place for blessing, and it's a place to say, thank you. Thank you. Because I'm only doing what I'm doing, and thank you, Norm, for what you know, for your thanks towards me. I appreciate that, and I know you speak for many. I would say probably all, but I'm only doing it as because I feel the inspiration of the Rebbe in my life, and therefore, the thanks really ultimately is to him, not to me. So give nachas right to the Rebbe. Tell him who you are, about your journey. You could email it. You can fax it too, by the way. 718-723-4444. 718-723-4444. Or just do, today everything's done online, so you can do this online. Oh, I'm glad that I got that in because that's really important and valuable. And again, we'll see you tomorrow. God bless you all. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much, Rabbi Fine.